Will people be so pleased with your widget that they'll want to order more for themselves and their friends? Did they buy an economy widget? And do you have a super duper widget that they'll find irresistible when you describe it in the brochure you include in their package? Is your widget something they'll use up and buy again next month and every month? Will they buy lots of attachments for your widget to increase its usefulness? Will other direct response businessmen want to rent your list of widget buyers? If any or a number of these things are true and the quantity of add on or bounce back orders is sufficient, then 1,000 customers is a smaller profit and could be more profitable in the long run than 500 customers at a higher profit. So today I'm going to be discussing this beautiful, beautiful book called A Lazy Man's Way to Riches. This is by Joe Karbo, the legendary Joe Karbo. Of course, this was written way, way, way long back. This is possibly, I'm not even sure when it was written, but yes, 1973. This is a 1973 written book, and it's one of the beautiful books that teaches you both about how to improve your life, that is, how to bounce back, use your subconscious mind in a direct way possible, and then of course how do you actually you know build a direct mail business yourself. Now, specifically put, this is not going to be very helpful when in this time and age to build a direct mail business, but the principles still lie if you're thinking about email marketing in any way possible. All right, so that's what we're going to be discussing today. And Joe Karbo was, this book has been suggested and referenced by so many people. It has been suggested by Gary Halbert, Dan Kennedy, Jay Abraham, and all of these are personal heroes of mine for advertising and media and direct mail and all of these things. So you should definitely get this book from the link in my description, and you will really enjoy this particular book if you're looking at advertising or direct mail or understanding the principles of this particular field. But more importantly, if you're someone who lacks the confidence or who is just starting out with this whole idea of entrepreneurship, then this is the book that I would recommend, because the first part of it, so the book is broken down into two parts, the book 1 and book 2, and the first part of it is essentially that just building your subconscious, getting that self image, to improve that self image by daily practice, by affirmations, by setting goals, by something that he calls super suggestion, and also understanding your subconscious really well. So how does it get ideas, how does it solve problems, how can I use it at will, because subconscious is usually a voodoo subject. And Joe Karbo says that yes, it is voodoo, but you can control it, you can put it to use, you just need to know the mechanism, right? It's not as simple as how we use our hands. It is somewhat different from that, and so we need to use a new technique, a different technique that we are not aware of, and that's what he teaches in this. So let me take you through the book 1, right? Of course I can't read the entire thing, but in book 1 he talks about something called Dynapsych. Dynapsych, the program, study and practice of achieving success by planned application of important but little understood natural laws. So this is essentially affirmations, setting up a vision, setting up goals, all of those things put together, but it is majorly affirmations, and I do know that this works. Now, affirmations are great, and you might see it in everywhere. It's a popular topic as such. It's like the secret book has essentially blown it up, and of course people like Napoleon Hill have also talked about affirmations, right, and visualization. Both of these techniques are really important, and they are used by almost every successful person out there. Oprah talks about it, all the athletes talk about it, Steve Jobs did it, Jay-Z did it, and so on and so forth, right? So all of these people do talk about visualization and of course affirmation. Now affirmations are essentially self-talk, right? how do you talk to yourself about a particular situation when you're in a particular situation? And that's what this is about. So now, why am I talking about all of this? Is because Joe has done a beautiful job at selling this to you. Now he's talking to you as a single person. He's talking to you as a friend who's essentially addressing all the problems, that all the skepticism, all the problems that a person deals with and asks about these things, because they are so such a misunderstood topic. So that's what he talks about, that hey, like, you don't have to believe me, but there's nothing that you can lose or will lose if you try this out, right? So he says, the man who works a lot harder than I am willing to do, who's using these same principles, made $11 million in 8 years. Fact, it's worked without exception for everyone who's tried it. I'll admit, until now I haven't shared the secret of Dynasite with too many people, because most of the time my only reward would be a patronizing smile. After all, I can see them saying to themselves, it couldn't be that easy, but it is. And that's what the beauty of Dynasite is, right? Perhaps you're wondering how so many people came to know of these natural laws and learn to take advantage of them. And that's what he's talking about in the first part of it, right? Now, so he talks about, there are so many different things that he talks about in this book, and it's difficult to go through all of them, but I just want to give you this interesting part of it. So he talks about something called ISI, which is internal self-image, which is how do you see yourself. And he says that through through this practice of Dynasite, through visualizing every day, through affirmations, you can change that self-image. And within a short span of time, it could be just a few days, it could be just a few weeks, it could be just a few months, but it will happen, and you can change, and you will change your own self-image and how you see yourself. And that's how you will put yourself out in the world, and thereby change the situations and the results that you're getting from different problems that you're solving. Dynasite promises you the assistance in selecting the specific goals which are prime requisite for success, and then shows you how you can achieve the effectiveness which will take you there. So what he's saying is, Dynasite promises you the assistance in selecting the specific goals. So it's helping you select the specific goals that you need to work on, right? That itself is part of the process. And then shows you how you can achieve the effectiveness which will take you there, which is the actual actions that you will need to take in order to get to your goals. That's what he's talking about over here, that hey, it's great to have all of these goals and the lists and everything, but that's one part of the problem. The actual part of the problem is taking action on these things, and that's what he's trying to solve. What is expected of you? What must you do in order to make the transition to the successful person you could be? Very little. When you measure the reward against the effort required attaining it. That's why I call this the lazy man's way. However, because so little is required of you, it does not follow that you can be lazy or haphazard in doing what is required. Quite the opposite. It is important that you perform in order to have all the benefits that Dynasite can bring you, right? And so you have to perform, right? And so this is the formula that he's given. This is called the RSVP formula according to him, which is read, study, visualize, and perform, right? So you have to read about different things, and that is learn, as well as of course Dynasite learning. Then second is study, that is you must need to apply what you've read into your own life. Visualize, that is actually thinking about your goals and actually applying those things into your life. And then of course the last one is perform, to actually take the actions that are needed. So that's what Dynasite is, and then it takes you through the process. It's talking to you very personally, right? It's talking to you super personally. Dynasite is going to change your self-image, which will in turn change the degree of success. Both will be moving up from this moment on. Save the scores you've calculated, and it is given this score sheet that you need to fill in. So save the scores that you've calculated, and 90 days from today, test yourself again and see what a dramatic difference your application of the natural power of Dynasite has made. I promise you that it will be amazed, that you will be amazed. right? It Joe also talks about fear, and I do think fear is one of the major reasons why we are not able to achieve our goals and our desires. And so that's why he's taken one whole chapter to explain what fear is and how you can use fear to your advantage in one way or another, right? Even if you are fearful to take action, then what do you do in order to change that? So he's talking that, he's talking about these things to you, as if you need to go forward and create it. Now he's also talking about this is all part one of the thing, which is book one. The second part of the book goes deep into direct mail and how can you apply it, and how can you start this process for yourself. Now I'm not going to go too deep into that because that's a lot of technicalities. You can buy the book for that, and you'll have really cool insights into this, right? But let me take this chance to answer this. Now, when you solve a really big problem in an imaginative way, you could be laying the foundations for an exciting, enriching business. So it is telling how what exactly a business is and how can you actually take part in it. Problem solving is an adventure. It will take you to places you've never been before. It'll make you see things that you've only looked at before. One of the curious things that happen when you start researching your answers is what I call tuning in. Tuning in works like this: when you get interested in the subject, you tune in to the sources of information that you would have missed otherwise. Missed articles in newspapers and magazines, TV and radio programs, the conversations of friends, the sermons at church, all of these things and more suddenly start coming to your awareness. You get vital input you would not have seen or heard if you hadn't been tuned in, right? So this is what about observing your surroundings and how do you do that. Then when you're tracking down answers, do it with energy and enthusiasm. Don't be afraid to ask questions. No one will think you're stupid. Remember, what will Roger the cowboy philosopher said? What Will Rogers, the cowboy philosopher, said? We're all ignorant, only on different subjects. Experts are flattered by your interest in their subject, right? So don't be afraid to make a mistake. And that's what Joe Karbo says again and again. Then don't be afraid to, take uh, do new things, and don't be afraid of making mistakes, because that's how you learn, that's how you grow, that's how you go forward. And that's what this whole part of entrepreneurship and learning new things and helping out new people is about, right? So I'm going to go deeper into this book pretty soon in upcoming videos, so you can follow the channel and follow me, and we'll talk about this pretty soon. But I just wanted to give you an introduction to Joe Karbo and this book, The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. And the link of this is in the bio, in the description and the bio. Now, of course, I get a percentage of this, but you don't have to pay additional for it in any way, right? So Amazon gives me a purchase discount for this, or rather a purchase affiliate purchase for this. So you don't get paid. You don't get charged anything extra. It's just a commission, a small commission of it that I get paid separately, right? So I hope you choose that. It's a great book, and you should really try reading it. It's a valuable one, right? Especially if you're in the field of advertising or if you're just starting out in entrepreneurship. All right. See you in the next one. Bye.